Even before the outbreak of the crisis in Syria, public schools in Jordan were overcrowded and their infrastructure was often in poor condition. Now, since the arrival of 600,000 refugees from Syria, the situation has gone from bad to worse. 200,000 Syrian children are of school age and need to be integrated into the Jordanian educational system. Admitting all of them to public schools is a big challenge for the Jordanian Ministry of Education. Classes with more than 60 students are no exception.
Penguins, they can what? Swim. Yes, excellent. Yes.
Polar bears and penguins. Not many people have the chance to visit the North and South Poles.
Khalida is one of the Syrian refugees who have sought refuge in Jordan.
The situation in Aleppo was very bad and dangerous. There were lots of killings and bombings. My father was going out of the mosque on a Friday and he was killed by a bullet. We felt very afraid and insecure. So my mother decided to take us to the Jordanian border.
Sending their children to school is one of the first priorities of the refugees upon their arrival.
It was very difficult to get my children admitted to school. Schools are overcrowded here. The school's principal refused to admit them at the beginning. But after 2 months of trial and pressure, the principal finally approved.
So Khalida was lucky, but many others are not. Less than 50% of the Syrian children at school age are enrolled in formal classes.
We are a girls' school in Amman. We have around 1,000 students, out of them 200 Syrian girls. We have a special section here in vocational training in electronics and sewing for the girls. We are facing different problems, mainly the overcrowded classrooms and also the bad structural condition of the school itself.
Indeed, many schools suffer from bad infrastructure due to lacking financial resources. Unacceptable conditions make regular classes a rarity. Nevertheless, the Ministry of Education pushes for more and more students from Syria to be admitted to the public schools.
That's why the ministry approached the SDC to support them in rehabilitation public schools in different areas. SDC approved that and supported 21 schools all over the country, especially in the north and in Amman area. We are now doing the rehabilitation work in the electricity grid, changing the stairs, maintaining the doors and the windows, and also we had made a major rehabilitation of the roof, which was leaking. In addition, we have tiled several rooms, especially the laboratory and the vocational training center in the school. And also we have increased the level of the surrounding wall of the school in order to preserve it better during the vacations.
In this school in the north of Jordan near the Syrian border, the rehabilitation project co-founded by the Principality of Liechtenstein is completed. That allowed organizing the school to use the double shifts. Now 915 Jordanian students attend the school in the morning and 1,100 Syrian students in the afternoon.
When is the competition? After 2 weeks.
What's the answer? Ahmad is busy this weekend because he is making a cut. Yes!
Many refugees live in impoverished situations. Some of them can hardly afford to buy school materials. SDC supported them through providing school bags and stationery in order to alleviate the financial burden of these families.
The Swiss agency distributed 1,100 school bags and stationery to the Jordanian and Syrian students in the Mafraq area. The distribution was made to both nationalities in order to avoid any kind of friction between the two communities.
Another school was also rehabilitated by SDC funding through the construction of 4 additional classrooms and 2 rooms for the administration and the school councillor.
Due to the construction of those 4 classrooms, additional 120 girl students were admitted to the school.
Now, after the rehabilitation work, the situation at the school is much better. Now the average number of students per class is 25, compared to 45 before. The learning environment is much better than before. The girls feel much more comfortable. Before the renovations, we didn't feel very comfortable because of the peeling paint in the school at that time. The whole scene inside the school was not good for us. After the rehabilitation, we started to feel much more comfortable with the bright colours in the classrooms, and also the blackboards and other teaching equipment were modified in the classrooms, and that made us feel much better.
Of course, the rehabilitation works could not solve all the school's problems.
One of the problems I've noticed with the Syrian students, many of them have lost some of the family members. In some cases, father and mother were separated, either by force or the father could not come to Jordan. This created social problems. Also, many students have seen unpleasant scenes in Syria, people being killed in the streets or at the border. This has created social and psychological problems for some of the students. Another point is the difference between the Syrian and the Jordanian curriculum, which has created some problems for us as teachers and counsellors, how to cope with this difference between the curriculums.
Such challenges cannot be met by rehabilitation measures. One can only hope that the Jordanian society is capable of avoiding tensions and integrating the Syrian refugee children.